All right, recording is set. So Janice and I were kind of chatting the other day, and she was expressing some frustration with not being where she wants to be with her goals for Elite this year, or at least Premier. And so we were kind of chatting, and I know that there's several from my team too that are in that boat where you've got a team that's growing, you hit Success Club, you recruit pretty well, and yet you're struggling to find those business builders that want to go for Diamond, that share your vision and want to run with this. And so this, I struggled with this a lot the last few years, and last year finally hit Elite and 5-star. And so I thought maybe it would just be helpful for you guys to jump on together, and we can just, you guys can ask me questions about what I did last year. I can share with you what I learned and what's working this year, and just give you maybe a little bit of fresh momentum to help you finish out the last half of the year with getting to where you want to be. Last week, hey, Katie M., there you are. Last week I had a call with Katie McGilvery, and we went over Elite and like the different categories, how you earn points, because she wasn't clear on that. So if that's something that you guys aren't clear on, we can definitely, go over that as well. So I would like to just know what your questions are first and foremost, what you're struggling with, where the sticking points are, and that will, rather than me just sit here and go over things you already know or are already clear on, that will give me some kind of idea of where the gaps are, and then hopefully I can fill those for you. So Janice, since this kind of started with you, you want to just jump in there and kind of tell me what the issues are?
Yeah, I feel like maybe I'm hand-holding too much. I don't know. And so I really need some pointers on, what to do to help them take more ownership and more leadership, like maybe some call or some book or something that they should be listening to, or something that I should be saying. I know I listened to that Summer, I can never say her name right. Screaming, that was really, really good. And I'm like, okay, so I know that it's not always about my team, and there's got to be something that I can do and change and work on myself. So I'm definitely not blaming my team. I just don't know what I'm missing to help push them or motivate them or inspire them. So I'm really working on my vision and sharing that. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
And helping them see, because I was afraid to share my vision, thinking that I would only want them to work the business to help me build my dream. And That's not the case. That's not my heart. Absolutely. So I definitely want them to do it for them. I want them to find their vision, and I know what their goals are. They want to quit their job. They hate what they're doing and all that, but I just don't know where the disconnect is for them. So anything along that line, I would love.
Okay. So let me see if I'm understanding correctly in the area of specifics. So you have people who say they have business goals, they say they want to quit their job, and then their actual businesses don't match up with what they say their goals are. So maybe they're not always hitting Success Club, they're not necessarily recruiting well, they're not maintaining rank. Okay. All right. And the proof is in the pudding, right?
Right.
So, okay. So lots of lip service about goals and vision, but then the business isn't really backing it up.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
The actions are definitely not backing it up.
Okay. And that's exactly where I found myself in 2014. Exactly. I had been a coach for 3 years. I had people on my team who said they wanted to grow a business. And I had one girl, Brandy, who probably would have hit Diamond with or without me. She's just that kind of person. I was stuck at 1-star. I've been 1-star for like 2 years and couldn't figure out how to get these people who said they had goals to actually work on them and achieve them. So I can totally relate to everything that you said. Okay, actions not matching up. All right, who else wants to go next? Let's see.
Hey, can I raise my hand?
Yeah, go ahead, Amanda.
I totally, I feel like I'm in that same spot, and I'm big. I've been described by my team as being a little tough love. I'm big on being the example, but I find that when I'm succeeding in an area, I don't know if this is my own mindset, that if I can tweak it, then maybe they'll break through as well. But even yesterday, I got kind of a little mental boost, a little reward, and I went to post about it in my team page, and even typing the words, "Your success is my success," it's almost like there's some sort of a limiting belief there, and I don't know if that translates to what Janice is dealing with either, but it's almost like what she said, like me getting them to see that our team succeeds when they succeed.
Right.
And it's like, I don't want it to appear as though I'm taking credit for their work or I'm the one who gets recognized for their work. Because at this point, once you hit diamond and 1-star, I mean, you can't do anything else until your team performs. Absolutely. So it's like trying to figure out that balance of being the leader versus being the encourager versus being the comrade, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Well, before I lose this train of thought, as you guys are talking about this, I think that's exactly, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Amanda, when you said struggling with the balance between understanding what the blessings of advancing this business do for you, and then yet worrying about coming off as selfish or self-centered in your goals with your team. It's definitely something I dealt with too. But here's what I had to get my mindset to, and I think you guys will appreciate this as well. And I'll just ask you this question. Have you been blessed by advancing your business to star diamond level? Yes, we would all say yes, right? There's something so frustrating about staying stuck at emerald or bouncing in and out of emerald, where you stay in that mindset of, I'm not sure I can do this. No one wants to join my team. And we all can remember kind of being in that place. And once you get to that diamond level, you're like, oh, finally, I did it. I think maybe I do have some qualities that make me good at this. And maybe I can see this thing through. And that shift is when you can start to even conceive of star diamond. So if you've been blessed by hitting those ranks, seeing your income progress, then you're doing a disservice to your team by not sharing with them what they're going to achieve when they get there. So rather than worry about sharing your vision and your goals as coming off as though you're using your team to advance your own life, totally flip that over into, you can't not share with them the blessings that you're seeing on the other side. You know, I always think about that Adele song when I think about our business, Hello from the Other Side. Like, you know, there's this big Grand Canyon chasm between those of us who, you know, you guys are on this call right now. You see the vision. You've advanced your business far enough that you're understanding the culture of this company, the culture of the team that we're all on under Melissa McAllister, and how all of our individual little teams under her also share that same heart and faith and sisterhood that she has handed down to us. We see it and we're living in it. We are just down in the trenches together with fellow women of faith and heart and the desire to give back. We're down in that. And then there's the people on the other side who completely just don't get it. They don't get it yet, because if they did, they would be recruiting like crazy like we are, if they understood that fully. And so our job is to help them bridge the gap and to come over to our side. And the only way that they're going to be able to do that is if we are describing for them in detail what it's like over there from our perspective. Not just, you know, and I think this is what Melissa meant the other day in that live video she did in her team page. She said, don't put me on a pedestal. Don't make this all about how great I am and what a success I am. Make it about you. And I think that's the key for your team, is that rather than you hesitating like Amanda described, and I've been in that moment too, where you want to share something you've achieved as a coach, as a leader, but you don't want to come off as, look what I'm doing, you know, taking all the credit here. Rather than looking at it that way, which I did for 3 years, switch it over as you shouting across the Grand Canyon, hey guys, over here, there's this amazing stuff going on. You got to be here with me. So learning to look at it that way, looking at leadership, celebrating your own milestones as the leader of your team, you know, describing for them what it's like as you're seeing pieces of your vision come together, or, you know, you can see yourself in the next couple of years getting to where you want to be. You have to paint that picture for them. because they're on the other side of the canyon. They just don't see it in their own lives yet. So that's the first thought I had. And I have some other tips too, but I wanted to just share that while it occurred to me. Katie, what about you guys? Where are you in all this? What are you struggling with?
I'll go. I struggle, I guess, because I still feel like I'm so new. I mean, I've been doing this for 6 months, as opposed to years, like some of y'all. And so I still feel like there's still so much that I don't know. And so I know, like what you're saying, I know how it feels. Like I'm only diamond, but I still know how it feels.
No, wait a minute. Wait a second. You know, most people never hit diamond. Most people never hit emerald. So just for the rest of you on here, Katie Carter hit diamond in what, 6 weeks of starting to work the business?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she didn't slip rank until she was what, 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, just recently.
Yeah.
And then I got it back.
She got diamond back really fast.
Yeah.
She hit Success Club on hers and her husband's account every single month for like 6 or 7 months straight. So I'm only diamond, girl. Don't ever say that. Don't minimize what you're doing, because I've been in this business 5 years and I've never seen a coach go as fast and hard and with clarity and determination and consistency as you. So don't minimize where you are. Okay. That's what you don't know yet, is what a badass you are. That's the only thing you don't know.
Okay. Well,
thank you. Go ahead.
But I feel like the reason that I've done what I have done is because I just took what you told me to do and I just did it. I didn't ask why. I didn't ask what's next. I didn't say, but I'm scared, and I just did it. And I had no idea where I was going. No idea. I mean, I just knew, okay, she said do this. I'm up at 6 a.m. and I'm doing it. And so that's my personality. And apparently that's not most people. And so I have these coaches who say, I want to do what you're doing. And several of them, one of them in particular, just had a baby and she work. And I'm like, you need to make this work. Like, you need to make this work for you. And she's like, yeah, I do need to make this work. When can I make this money? And so that's what it's about for her. But she has done nothing in the 7-day training except ask me question after question after question. And it's so hard because we're close friends. We see each other all the time. We go to church together. So I still want to maintain that friendship, but I want to say, I'm not talking to you about it until you do this. But that's my personality. If I had a question, I YouTubed it, I Googled it, I looked in the online office, and if I couldn't find it, then I went to somewhere and asked a question. And I feel like that's what I'm looking for in people, but I feel like there's nobody out there like that, because I'm going, what's wrong with you people? Like, if you have a question, look it up. I mean, she asked me yesterday, she said, I hit emerald. What does that mean? Well, all I did was go to YouTube, Googled, what does it mean to be emerald, and sent her the video of Coach Caleb explaining it. Like, she could have done that. That's what I did. But so it's frustrating that I have people that say, I want to work the business, and so I get so excited, and then I put them in a training, and it's crickets. Nothing happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're doing this. Like, they understand.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir here, because every girl that's on here is exactly like you, and we all share the same, that same frustration. I will. Well, before I jump into that, what else besides that one thing?
Well, it's just that, and then along with kind of what Katie and I have been discussing on the side is Premier and Elite and all that sort of stuff. Again, like, I didn't know what Diamond was 6 months ago, but I'm there now. But I didn't understand what it meant. And so it's hard for me to explain to my team, this is why we need to do what we're doing so we can get to this place. But then they say why or what for. And I'm like, I don't know. That's what everybody else is doing. I mean, that's what my success pod is doing. So that's where we're going. I don't know why. I don't know the benefits of my team being there.
Right.
I don't know. We're just going. I mean, so that's what I am. I mean, I don't understand all the ins and outs of it. So it's still hard for me to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Okay.
Any more of those people that we can just clone just like you?
I know, exactly. I know. I actually put on my vision board for this year, I added it after I saw Katie doing so well. I put on there, find more coaches like Katie Carter. Because I'm the same way. I didn't have an upline telling me anything. So YouTube was my best friend. YouTube and Google are how I learned anything. National Wake Up Call, recorded calls off YouTube. And really, it doesn't matter how much we give our teams. It's that moment when they take ownership and they stop coming to us like children. Mommy, can I? What do I? And they actually go out there and research and own it is when they're going to figure this out. Because as long as we're spoon feeding and hand holding and giving it to them, they're not owning their own business. They look at it as, oh, this is Amanda's business and I'm just a part of it, rather than saying this is my business. And that's what Katie did from the get-go. And so did Katie McGilvray. From the very beginning, this is my business. So, Katie M., I know you're getting your makeup done. Do you have anything to add to that before I jump into some tips?
I totally was getting my makeup done. You
look beautiful.
Thank you. I had one of my challengers actually is a Mary Kay consultant, and I told her I was in need of some makeup because we have a photo shoot tomorrow. And she's like, "How about I come today and I can get you?" And I was like, "Awesome!"
Oh, and you look so pretty. I'm like staring at your eyes.
This is like the first time I've ever had my makeup done or really done it, and I was looking through my makeup bag going, wow, you really are a 12-year-old. Since our talk last week, the thing that I have really been doing is kind of figuring out my own vision for my team and where I want to grow, the kind of people that I do want to add, because I'm with Katie. I have the same problem of adding people who need inspiration, but don't really want to turn around and inspire others. And I'm good with that, but I like the go-getters. I like people that see the goodness behind what we're doing, and want to go there. They may not know how to, but they have the mindset that, it's possible. And last night I did a call, first team call since probably March, because I feel like that's part of that team culture is really having those team calls weekly. And getting plugged in with people so they see me, I see them, we feel connected. Starting to host little things at my house for the coaches that are local, and some that aren't, that maybe can make it, just to create the feeling that, what we're doing is not strictly online, that I am a real person, and I really do care about who they are, and not just hitting Success Club, not just all that. Because if you'll look, I have not hit Success Club yet. I'm still at 0, but we're getting there. I'm the comeback kid. It's what I do. But the thing that I was really talking about last night is the fact that from Summer's call Monday, I've listened to it probably 8 times. But when you don't have a vision, you have no motivation. And I'm living proof of that, because after, going through my miscarriage in March and then losing my great-grandmother, it was just holy Lord. I just lost what I was working for, because I kind of didn't know, where to go from there. I felt lost. I felt like I just needed to take a step back and kind of figure it out for myself. But as we found the Success Pod and we did the leadership group, which is was stepping stones for me. I really started to see that the things that I'm talking about aren't just things that I'm talking about. Yesterday, I posted some outfits to wear tomorrow, and I had people commenting on them saying, "Oh, this is awesome." And they're like, "Well, what's it for?" And I said, "Well, it's a business shoot." And they're like, "Oh." And then I talked about hiring an assistant, and they're like, "Oh," and it's not necessarily that I'm so up, in Beachbody, but it's the fact that I'm going to be there, and I know that I'm going to be there. And that's part of casting that vision, is taking those scary steps and doing those things, even though I'm going, crap, how am I going to pay for that? I'm going to find a way to pay for that, because that's what I really need to be successful and to be productive, because I need people to do things for me. I need to be able to do what I'm good at, which is having conversations and not have to worry so much about all of the other stuff. And I told my husband last night, I hired someone to deep clean our house once a month. And he was like, what do you think you're doing? And I was like, just don't worry, I'll take care of it. Just don't stress out. I got this. It's just getting in that mindset of believing that I can. And I told someone yesterday, she's like, I said, I need a personal stylist. I need someone to come dress me and buy outfits for me, and stuff, because, I'm be really successful in the next year. And she's like, yeah, can we go on a vacation to the Bahamas? I said, yes, I'm shooting for that next November. We're just going to take everybody to the Bahamas. But it's just talking about that, because talking about it means that you're going somewhere. It means that you have a plan to go somewhere. And I'm going to keep talking about it, and I'm going to keep posting about it, and I'm going to keep creating that momentum for myself, because other people see that and they think, oh, well, she must, like she's really got it figured out. And no, I don't have it figured out. I wish you could see my office right now. It's like a hot mess express. But, I'm casting that vision out there. And the best thing for me was sitting on that call last night. There were 6 women on there, plus my 7, plus me. And I was like, oh my gosh, guys, holy crap, people were there. Some of Katie Carter's coaches were on there, and it was so awesome. But it was just that feeling of, we're actually going to do this. Like, we're going to do this as a team. And I recorded the first half of it, and then I didn't get to record the second half. But I recorded the first half, and I was kind of telling them, what casting a vision looks like. And then the second half of the video, like, I wish I could have recorded it. It was amazing. Sitting there listening to those women talk about what they're wanting to achieve. Jamie, one of my very first coaches, who was an Emerald, and then had life happen to her, was talking about how she just went through a really bad divorce, and she's going through a lot of stuff. And the one thing she wants to be able to do is not have to work nights anymore, so that she can be there and provide for her kids and let them go to, do sports, because right now they can't because she's not there. And during the day, she's sleeping or doing other things. And that was one thing. And Alyssa, she's an adopted coach of mine. She was talking about her husband's in the oil field as well, and being able to bring him home because they have a 6-month-old, that she would like for him to be able to participate more in his life. And once the oil field starts kicking up, like he's gone, he could be out of state. He could, be working 12, 14-hour days. And for me personally, just being able to give Zach that option to come home. And so that he's not having to live in Oklahoma. He just started getting weekends off, but being able to have him home, because we've lived here for 2 years, in a combined total of 3 months has he ever been in our house. Like, it's ridiculous. So it's
just jump in here right quick, because I have some things that I think are going to help you guys. Because all of you, you're drawn to me, you're on this call because we are so much alike. Brandy and I have often joked, we're success partners. Literally, we're the same person. She just has blonde hair. We can finish each other's sentences. We think exactly the same. And what I'm hearing you guys say is you guys are me just a couple of years ago. And so I'm just going to tell you a hardcore truth, what worked for me. And I had to go against my nature a little bit. And Amanda, I hear in your words that maybe you're already kind of teetering on this a little bit. All of us are natural encouragers and nurturers. All of us. Our heart is literally, if someone is in our presence, we want to pour into them and help them to be built up, blessed, loved on. We want them to leave a moment with us feeling like, warm and fuzzy, right? We are cheerleaders, like you're the type of person that's going to sit with your friend and listen and be there for them. I get sweet little messages from Janice all the time telling me she's thinking about me, she's praying for me. That's the heart of you guys, all of you. And I'm the same way. I'm a giver. I'm not a taker. I don't want to take. Okay. And I hear that in what you guys are saying. I also see it from you on social media. All of you are encouragers. You love to build people up. You're positive. You're energetic. Every single one of you. So what's naturally going to happen is that all of us are going to attract people that are needy and codependent. And I'm just going to be honest there. So when you find yourself with a team full of coaches who require spoon feeding and hand holding, and they are codependent on you and do not step out and own their own business, it's nobody's fault but your own. That sounds so mean to say that. But that's where
I love you.
That's where I found myself. And I had to recognize that I was branding myself as a big old mother hen person. That if you just come into my little flock, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to do everything for you. You don't have to lift a finger. I'm going to give you all the training, all the meal plans. I'm going to give you everything I have. You don't have to do anything. Just come near me. So I had a huge team full of discount coaches and codependent takers who wanted only me. They didn't go to YouTube. They didn't go to Google because that wasn't the warm, fuzzy cheerleader, encourager, nurturer that they wanted. They were drawn to me because they thought I would take care of all their problems for them. They also thought that just by standing near me, they could absorb success by osmosis. And when it didn't work, they were like, you were wrong. That didn't work. Okay. Do you guys hear me? You guys dealing with this? Janice is laughing. Yeah, that's your team, right? So that's where I was in 2014. I had goals that year to hit elite, to be 5-star, and all year long, I loved and encouraged and nurtured and motivated and preached until I was blue in the face, and nothing happened. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I did finish 2-star, and I lacked about 4 elite points from hitting Premier. I was sick, absolutely sick. So in 2015, the thing that I did different was I used that frustration of missing my goal to finally get clear with my team about what I saw for us. And I started telling them what it was like from the other side and the blessings that we were missing out on by not being elite. And Brandy's the only one on this call that can vouch for this, but coaches on my team who've been around for a while will tell you the difference in last year. I finally started to hold people accountable to the goals that they set. So while encouragement and cheerleading are great, and vision and being clear on your vision is also super important, I would put money on a bet that you guys are missing the 2 most important things that are going to take you forward. And the first one is giving your coaches clarity on what steps to take. Jeff Hill said on a call I was on yesterday on my 5-Star Diamond Mastermind Zoom, he said, if you're trying to lead and have people follow you, you've got to create clarity for them. Okay, and that's a little bit of what I was talking about earlier about explaining to them what it's like on the other side. What are you getting to experience on, that corporate call that you had access to yesterday, Janice? And I know, Katie, you've had one set up as well. To get on. Brandy, you've had access to Keyshawn, who's amazing as your corporate mentor. What is it like to have access to that, and why do you want that for your go-getters? How did that make you feel to be good enough to qualify to have that person get on a call with you? What was that like, and why do you want that for them? Give them clarity about what you're experiencing and why you want it for them. Okay, clarity in what are the steps? What are the steps? And tell them clearly, here's what I've done. If you do this, you'll build success. So for Katie Carter, for you, that would be doing a video for your team and going, look, guys, here's what I did. I did everything Miranda told me to do without questioning her. When I had a question, instead of going to her, I went to YouTube and Google and I looked it up. And that allowed me to grow really, really fast. I was the fastest coach to hit diamond in her entire downline, and I had no idea what I was doing, but this is what worked. So even when you don't know what you're doing, these are the steps that you take, and you trust it, and you follow it because it worked for me. And all of you have a different experience about what worked for you. So tell your team, because they're looking to you. They want to know what you did. So give them clarity. Here's a step, here's a step, here's a step. Here's what I did. If you follow this, you'll be successful too. And you also have to tell them, I cannot hold your hand every step of the way because that would be doing you a disservice. And you need to equate it to your children. I used this metaphor a lot last year with my team. That if we all carried our kids around forever and never put them down and let them learn to walk, they wouldn't learn. We had to let them fall down. We had to go, because they were bumping their head on everything. They got their first boo-boos when they were learning to walk. But we knew as their parents, we had to put them down and encourage them to walk and hold their hands for a little bit and then let them hold their hands on furniture and then let them go. And we have to do that with our coaches. And we have to tell them, look, I'm not being mean to you when I don't answer your private message with your question. I just know that you need to go to Google and YouTube, or it's already in our team page. Tell them that openly in your team. I love you, and because I love you, I'm not going to handhold you anymore because I've been holding you back by doing that. So clarity is key. And the last thing is accountability. We have to hold them accountable for coach training, for Success Club, for moving up the leadership ladder, for advancing in rank, earning income, and being consistent. Those are the activities that are going to move them forward, just like in our challenge groups. Yesterday I did a little bit of a tough love video in our challenge group. And I said, look, a few weeks ago, you guys were excited about this. You were so pumped up about changing your life and your health. And now here we are a few weeks in, and I'm not seeing your check-ins. Where are you guys at? And that is not me. I have to fight my nature to do those things. But you know what? There's like dozens of comments on that video now. And I could tell I got under their skin a little bit, some of them because they were defensive, but you know what? They checked in. And now we know they're having problems mixing their Shakeology, or they're nailing the meal plan, but they're not working out. Now we know how to help them. So you have to translate in doing the things that you know get results in your challenge groups to your team. Apply the same principle of accountability. Ask for check-ins in the middle of the month. Where are we at on Success Club? Right now, my team, we're doing a new project called the Fixer Upper Project, where we're bringing together a challenge group concept with coach training together in one thing. And I asked them just today, are you guys struggling with this? What's going on? Where are we at? You have to constantly be holding them accountable to doing these activities. And don't be scared of that, because, again, you're on the other side. You know what consistency in Success Club and recruiting and, growing your team and advancing in rank. And you see, because you're over there with elite coaches, with premier coaches who are going to New Leader Conference and leadership and getting these packets in the mail before Summit that have all the goodies in it that they're going to need. You don't stand in line for registration. You're seeing that. And they're on the other side. So you've got to hold them accountable to the goals that they set by explaining to them, these are the things you have to do, and I cannot do them for you. And again, it's going to go against your nature. You're going to feel mean. You're going to feel bitchy. You're going to feel more aggressive and assertive than you naturally are. But because you're an encourager, because you are a woman of God and a woman of faith who loves on people, and you have a history of doing that, and that is your brand, they can take it. They can take it. And they'll soar and they'll fly. I've had a couple of coaches on my team who've bounced in and out of Diamond this year. And I've told them, they were part of my 5 that allowed us to hit 5-star last year in Elite. And I've told them several times, doesn't this drive you crazy to bounce in and out of Diamond? Aren't you sick of this? I know I was sick of it when I bounced in and out of Diamond. I hated it. And I've told them, I don't want you to have to deal with the stress of it being Wednesday night and you're going to drop rank tomorrow if you don't recruit one more coach or help one of your emeralds get emerald back. I don't want you to live like that. That's not freedom. That's being tied down to your business, and that sucks. That takes the fun out of this. And both of them were like, oh, wow, yeah, you're right. So rather than them feeling like it was all about me trying to hold rank, it was about them and their goals. If you want to bring your husband home, if you want to be debt-free, you're going to have to get past this, teetering on the fence of Diamond and falling off and getting back and falling off and getting back. You have to get out of that phase if you want to be able to reach that goal. And holding them accountable to that is what is allowing me to finally rank up to 6-star tomorrow, finally, because everybody is holding rank and advancing. So you have to, it's a mindset shift, just like we tell everybody on social media all the time. And it's a true mindset shift in your business as a leader when you finally go, oh, wow, it's not being mean to tell someone who says they want to be debt-free that they have to do this and this and this to get there. That's not mean. That's love. It's mean to just sit there and continue spoon feeding them and allow them to not take ownership of their business. That's mean, right? So if you can flip the switch on how you're thinking about leadership and start to understand that leading with love, with heart, with wanting to help people change their lives includes hardcore clarity and accountability. And when you can see those two things as the most loving thing that you can do for your coaches, you're going to see the shift in your business. And You have to free yourself up from the drain of hand-holding and being the person all these people are codependent on, because that takes the fun out of the business for you, and it's draining. So what does that look like month to month? I don't know if you guys are using a team calendar. You have to plan ahead, but not to the point that you give them everything. Oh, Janice has her August out already. For a while, my team calendars included every little detail about when to promote something. I felt like I needed to give them the posts that they needed to post. I was giving them too much, and they were looking at that calendar going, oh my gosh, I can never do this. That's overwhelming. But if I gave them the basics, like right now, we know Country Heat's coming out soon, and I've already told them we're going to run a Country Heat test group on August the 8th. That's the plan, and that's all I've told them. I've given them sneak peek opportunities to do the elite version of Country Heat with me that I have on Beachbody On Demand. I made sure they knew about what was going on Monday. I've told them, take videos of yourself, take pictures of yourself doing Country Heat, talk about it, put on some cute boots and Daisy Dukes and, promote this thing. We live in the South. I've told them that, but I haven't given them like the whole month, everything we're doing, because that overwhelms them a lot of times. But I'm also not going to give them all the posts and handhold. I'm giving them ideas, and I'm telling them the date, and I'm giving them opportunities to have content to share. But I'm not giving them every little thing, because I want them to use creative license to promote it their own way. I want them to have to step out there and write up a post and maybe fall down and skin their knees by having it not do well and learn, oh, that didn't work. Maybe I should try a different way. And of course, I'm there to help them with that. If I see a bad post, I'm going to message them and say, hey, you might want to, instead of at 7:43 in the morning posting a challenge group invite, let's save that for tonight at 8. Try that again later. So anyway, one other thing I was going to tell you guys, it's worked really well for me that might help you guys. And I learned this from Ashley Smith, who's now ranked number 16 in the company, I bet. And it really hit me because she did a call for us a couple months back, and her team size is the same as mine, but she's 10-star, and she's number 16 in the company. And I'm 6-star, and as of the last elite report, I fell from being 211 last year down to 704. So this is definitely a rebuilding year for me, but I'm still going to hit elite, and I'm still going to be there. But one thing I learned from her that really has helped me is using Google Forms. And what we did last month was created a Google form for my team to use to invite to our challenge group. And so rather than do a backstage pass or sneak peek into challenge groups or, try to just promote individually, I put this form together and I included basically Tommy Migrant's 5-step process in the form through videos from me. So the first one was an intro to me and kind of my story. The second video was inviting them to join our challenge group. The third one is, what can you expect from us if you come into this? The next one was, what do we expect from you? And the last one was, here's the start date, here's how to sign up. And I just did it all for them. And I had 3 brand new coaches hit Success Club using that form that had never been able to hit it before. So getting really, really specific about what are the steps. And I guarantee you, I know, actually, one girl who hit Success Club last month hit Success Club for July within the first week of the month, continuing to use that form. And I know she built her confidence, and she's going to be able to see and experience, oh, that's what the 5-step process looks like. She's going to be able to duplicate that in a form for her team or even in private messaging, talking to people. So the more clarity you can build in and the more accountability you can build in to offset and balance out your natural encourager, big dreamer, visionary, big picture kind of personality that you all have, you're going to be able to see your team start to move. So that was a lot. So you guys ask questions. Again, if there's details that you feel like you're missing, because I am big picture, visionary, dreamer kind of person too. Details, clarity, anything you guys need.
I think I duplicated the form that you're talking about. So it was like when they're a brand new coach, you give it to them, right? It's like a welcome email. Instead, it's a welcome form. Okay,
I did that. I'm talking about something different though. I did last month. What you're talking about is the new coach welcome form. Yes, I've been having great success with that. But it dawned on me, this form thing works really well. I can just hand it off. They're responsible for doing it, and then they come back to me when they're ready for the next step. So it took that same concept and applied it to a challenge group invite.
Okay.
And I'll share that form with you if you want to look at it.
So you're saying this form is helping your coaches hit Success Club. Got it.
It's a challenge group invitation protocol, basically, from me.
Okay.
That they can go, I'm inviting to this, and it has everything in there for them.
I think I have one, but I would like to compare what I have with what you have, make sure I'm not missing anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, good question. What other questions do you guys have?
Miranda, in your new coach email that you send, I've tried to kind of use that and tweak it and then send it to some of mine. At the end, when you have them go and take the personality test and then send you the results and stuff, what is that purpose? Just so you know how to communicate with them better, so you know what to expect from them, or what should I be doing with those results that they're sending me?
Well, first of all, I'm not sending that welcome email anymore. I've replaced that with the form, the new welcome form. But as far as, let's see if that book is handy. Not. As far as why I want to know what their personality is, I'll just give you an example. So Brandy from my team, she on the color code test, she's a blue like me. We are feeling, Janice is too. We are driven by feelings and emotions. We're not analytical per se. Everything's based on instinct and emotion. So dealing with Brandy, if she comes to me with a problem with her team, I'm going to approach her very differently. I'm going to encourage her. I'm going to tell her everything she's doing right already. I'm going to build her up. I'm going to validate her and love on her first and foremost. Okay. So if Jennifer Allen comes to me with a problem with her team, she's a red on the color code personality spectrum. She is black and white, nuts and bolts, very analytical. She is driven by her head and not her heart. So for her, I'm going to dive right in to, girl, you better get your act together. Your team needs a leader, and here's what you're not doing, and this is what you've got to do to get there. I'm going to be in her face. I'm going to be a little more blunt because that's her language, and I want to speak to her in her language. So when I have my coaches do those personality tests, it's so I don't go about the wrong way of communicating with them. Yellow personality types are all about the party. They want to have a good time. And there's different tests and quizzes you can use. I like color code mostly. A yellow type, I'm going to get on the phone and go, hey, girl, what's going on? I saw you got your nails done yesterday. I love that color. Where do you go? What are you wearing to the summit parties? Like, I'm going to come at them with party because that's what they want. That's their language. And then they're going to be like, oh, my God, she gets me. And then whatever I have to say to them, they're going to be able to receive it and hear it. That makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah, totally. How else can I help you guys? What questions? Amanda, you're not driving anymore.
No, I'm bringing in 150 groceries.
Oh, really?
So I would love to, if you don't mind, to see the form as well.
Sure.
I think that's a great idea. Mm-hmm. And my process is just probably much more cumbersome, and that sounds way more streamlined.
Yes. Simplifying. Oh my gosh. The thing I hate most in this business is training new coaches. I just find it so draining because I am a go figure it out myself person. Like you said earlier, Katie Carter, you're the same way. I find it exhausting and draining. I hate talking on the phone, so I don't want to get on the phone with them. It sounds terrible. I don't want to get on the phone with them until they have got the basics down. I want them to understand Success Club, what Emerald is, and that form has taken out that angst for me. And it's reduced the amount of questions I'm getting, and it lets me know who to set up calls with. Because if they never finish that form and text me, I'm done with my form, I'm not going to get on the phone with them. If they can't do that one thing, I don't even want to talk to them. They can just be a discount coach in my challenge group, and I'll help them lose weight and get fit, and we'll leave it at that. Mm-hmm. They change their mind later and start asking questions about the business. I can tell them, hey, you never filled out that form. Go do that form and then get with me and we'll set up a call. So it's been hugely helpful for me. So yeah, I'll definitely share that with you.
I have that, Amanda. I can share that too.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So I guess the next step, the reason I wanted you to record this is so that I can go back and listen to it again.
Absolutely.
I'm a repetition person.
Yes.
But my main thing is, when you made this switch, when your team had to finally see the new Miranda, how did you go about that? Was it like, because sometimes I feel like I'm trying to gather them up so that I can give them an important message that I don't want to have to like say 100 times, and.
Well, one thing I told Brandy to quit doing was tagging all her coaches in her big important posts in her team page. And she had a hard time stopping doing that. But I told her, because we had struggled with the same thing, you're not responsible for them doing what they're supposed to do. If you post something in your team page, they are responsible for going, oh, Janice posted something, I better pay attention. And rather than you constantly running to where they are, you stand firm on where you are. And if they want to do this business with you, they have to come to you. So if you offer a call or a video or a post or a form or an email or a newsletter or a get together, whatever you're doing, you're not responsible for making sure they know about it. You post it, you create the event page, whatever, and those who want it will come to you. And that acts as I always think of a colander. I'm, a mental picture person. So I think of a colander or a strainer that you use in your kitchen. And, we use those to kind of sift out the stuff we want and let the other things go. And if you'll start running your team that way, you will naturally get to see who's showing up without me handholding. And those are the people to spend your time with. And it breaks my heart sometimes to look at my sponsorship drill down and see these coaches that could be diamond in a blink if they would just recruit a couple more or help 2 coaches get to emerald. Breaks my heart. But if they've only done that because I have been spoon feeding them, then they're never going to maintain it even when they hit it. So I had to let go. I've had some coaches cancel and get mad at me. I had a coach on my team after one of my tough love videos that I did where I told them, look, this is non-negotiable for me. This is something that I have to do in my life. This supports my family. This is braces for my kids. This is college for my kids. And this is where I'm going. I need to know who wants to run with me. And if you don't, I'm sorry, but this is not for you. I had a girl quit and move from me to one of my other downline coaches who's a lot softer. But I'm no longer having to waste my time on her because she made it very clear she didn't want to be a part of that. So it's risky and it is scary, and you will make people mad. You will. But at the end of the day, what are you more worried about? Pleasing your nonchalant, codependent coaches on your team, or getting your husband home from his job? What's more important to you? And that's the slap in the face I had to come to for myself. So that's what you really have to just get clear about that with yourself too. Am I gonna stay in this mode of being a pleaser and wanting everyone to be happy with me and accept me, or am I gonna step out and take the risk that it's gonna take to get clear and get my family to where they deserve to be? When you look at it that way, shoot, the scales tip instantly, and all of a sudden you don't care anymore, and you can't. All of us have branded ourselves as these warm, fuzzy, loving people, and we really are that. But this is a business. This is not a cheerleading squad. It's a business. And so just getting clear about that with myself and explaining that to my team, and literally it wasn't one thing I did last year. It was just the language I started using in all my team calls, in my posts, holding people more accountable to Success Club, like, halfway through the month, listing out people who have points and are on the board and telling them, look, what do we need to do to get you to 5 or 10? What's your goal? What are you going to do to get there? Giving people shout outs when they hit it early in the month. Doing a lot more prizes and incentives for Success Club. Doing things where they had to earn the right to be there, like a diamond retreat. Stuff like that. Just really accountability and clarity, a whole lot more. Just changing my language all year long.
Miranda, I'll say that being one of those people under you where I didn't know the old Miranda. Apparently, this is all that I've known. So I knew in our new coach training, and I could see in our conversations that I needed to go find the answer first. Because I watched girls ask you for help, and how do I respond to this, and what do I say to her now, and what do I say next, and I watched you say nothing. And so I was like, okay, well, she's not answering them, so I'm pretty sure I probably need to go find my own answer. So I mean, it works. It totally came across to me not as, well, God, what a wench, you know, she's not helping us at all. It's okay, I better go figure it out before I go try to ask her. Yeah. And that is very clear in the way you communicate with coaches now. And even me being someone who was bumming off you because you weren't even my upline. Still not technically my upline.
Whoa, man, why won't she quit already? No.
So anyway, but yeah, I just wanted you to know that, I mean, it's working because it's very clear the way that you're communicating that stuff. So
good. Yeah. And usually if I don't answer someone's question, it's because they didn't do the assignment, and I can tell by their question that they didn't do it. They didn't watch the video in the training post, you know, or they haven't met other requirements. You know, some people are asking about running the business and, you know, they're inactive. So no, I'm just not, because my family comes first. The Lord is right up there at the top of my priority list. My own sanity and making sure I have time for my own workout and meal plans, and my business, which is bringing on new people. That all comes first. And at the end of that, I know in my new coach welcome forum, in my training groups, my team calls, my countless videos I do, I know that I'm giving people everything they need to be successful. And if they do it, follow it, listen to it, execute on it, and duplicate it, they are going to be successful. So I have cut the cord with coaches who aren't showing up for me. They don't deserve my time, and I hate to be that way. I really do. It goes against my nature. It still makes me want to throw up sometimes. But it works. And I've been doing my team a disservice by not being that way.
Do you think, because I'm trying to think of, you know, how Katie just said that she only knows the new you. So, you know, and I, like you said, it's going to be risky and I'm going to sound mean and I might lose people. I'm not worried about losing people. But I'm almost one of those people that I like people on board with me as I go through this. So do you think sharing this video with some of the people that know the old me, that probably are ready for me to be a different type of leader, or sharing this type of video so they can kind of see where I'm coming from? I'm reaching out to ask for help in this area. They can see me doing the same thing.
Yes, absolutely.
And surrounding myself with people that make me better, like you're doing for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what Brandy and I really had to come to terms with each other last year, was supporting each other as we changed the language with our teams. And
you've done a better job than I have, though. I'm still spoon feeding, and I stop.
That's because, and that's where the color code stuff comes in handy. I'm a blue/red. Brandy's a blue/white. So she's scared of confrontation and doesn't like conflict and drama. Whereas I'm secondarily sort of okay with it, as long as people know first and foremost I love them. Right. So that's where you have to have somebody. Maybe you and Amanda could do this together, because it sounds like you guys. I bet Amanda is blue/red. Janice, you're blue/white. You guys can.
I'm blue/yellow.
Oh, woo, that's even scarier. No. I love it. That's the same issue, though, because yellows don't want drama and conflict either. You want everything to be fun and pretty.
I think I need to take the test.
Yeah, take the test. Yeah, you might be red, blue, or blue, red, but I bet you're those two for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, colorcode.com, and then if you enter all one word Beachbody Coach, you can get the full report for free.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
My coach that last did that said that it didn't work.
Oh, really? Maybe that was over.
That was from Summit 2014.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it worked up until maybe a few months ago, but I don't know. Try it and see. But anyway, the basic report will still tell you what you are.
Cool, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, get yourself somebody that you can do this with, because you'll need support. I would also suggest maybe for personal development. I'm reading this right now, Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within. I picked it up at Unleash the Power Within event. And it really will help you a lot with the mindset of vision and clarity and not apologizing for where you're going in life.
Good.
That might help you guys a lot. There's also a new Netflix presentation of what Tony does at his live events that you should watch. It's called I'm Not Your Guru.
I just watched his live feed about that.
So good. So good. Yeah,
so it's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. It's called I'm Not Your Guru.
GURU?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's good. It's Tony Robbins, and it's a lot of what he does at his live events, and it'll really help you get clarity and be able to stop hesitating on being the leader you need to be as well.
What was the book called? Because I felt like I had read it, so maybe
Awaken the Giant Within.
Yeah, I think I have, but I'll reread it again because I can't remember. So obviously,
yeah, that's good.
Maybe I'll listen to it, and that happens sometimes when I listen to a book.
Yes. Yeah. I also feel like John Maxwell, The Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I can't remember what that one's called. Hold on, let me look.
Oh boy, Elliot.
Yeah, John Maxwell, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership was huge for me. I think I've read that book 3 times. And you go through there and you can figure out where you're already doing a good job and the areas where you need to focus. That really, really helped me a lot. I read that in 2014 and 2015. Probably need to read it again. But it helps a lot too. Yeah.
It was The Magic of Thinking Big, right?
No, I haven't read that one.
That's the one I read. Okay, what was it again? The one by Tony Robbins?
Awaken the Giant Within. And I'm not sure if it's available as an audiobook or not. I haven't even checked.
Okay.
But it's such a good read. He writes like a speaker. So it's like you can hear his voice as you're reading it, whereas some writers are so bland.
Yeah.
But it's a good one.
Okay.
Are you guys clear on Elite? You know how to earn points and what the requirements are? You mean to run over that real quick?
Will you go over what's the weird one? Is it the ATV that you have to have like so much more than the prior year?
Yeah.
Tell me that.
Yeah. Okay. So ATV is the third category, and basically you earn 1 elite point for every 10,000 team volume points that you increase this year over last year. And you can get as many as 40 elite points in that category, which means what's 40 times 10,000? 400,000 points more this year than last year. I would venture to say, I mean, Janice and Amanda, I've seen your Success Club points on Melissa's leaderboards and stuff. I mean, you guys should have no problem with ATV if a lot of those Success Club points are coming from recruiting, if those are new coaches, whether they're discount or not. And if you even have, 2 or 3 people on your team hitting Success Club each month, you should have no problem getting your ATV elite points.
Okay.
Since you guys have been coaches for a while, Katie, you should have ATV elite points out the wazoo because you're new. But Janice and Amanda, you and Brandy too, you guys might not start acquiring elite points in that category until later in the year.
I was going to say mine says 0 right now.
Yeah, I think I have 1. Yeah.
Okay. That makes it better.
Yeah, because when your team produces a lot of volume, which mine does, and I know you guys probably do too, it takes you at least anywhere from 6 to 10 months into the next year to meet what you did last year, and then you'll have points like crazy from like September through December because you'll finally be over what you did last year.
Makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. And that category, I think you only have to have 13. Yeah, 13 to hit elite.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most forgiving category. If you're a strong business builder and you're a high volume producer, that's the easiest category to hit elite in my opinion. The hardest one for me is personally sponsored coaches hitting Success Club.
Right.
That's my challenge. That's my weak point.
Okay.
Absolutely. PSPV is the other category. That's from new coaches you've recruited this year. All you guys on this call are strong recruiters. You should have no problem getting elite points there. Every 500 volume points that your new coaches produce from this year gives you an elite point. So if you're recruiting, 4 or 5 coaches per month, you're going to have your elite points in that category too. If they stay on Shakeology 2 or 3 months, which is average for a discount coach or customer, you're going to hit your points in that category too. So focusing on your coaches from last year and this year hitting Success Club is probably where most of your work needs to happen.
Okay.
For sure. You need at least an average of 3 coaches per month hitting Success Club to hit elite. So, all right.
You're amazing. I think we're just going to all come back from Summit and blame it on Summit.
I know. Yeah,
like,
for sure. I know I need it so bad. I've got so many coaches on my team going for the first time, and I'm excited for them even more than myself. Like,
awesome.
Just can't wait. It's kind of like when your friend is about to have their first baby, and you're like, you have no idea. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. I loved meeting with you today, and I'll share the recording with you so that you can use this however you want. And don't let this just be something we did today, and then you go, man, I needed to do something with that, and I didn't. Really create some action steps, figure out where you need to focus and work, and that's different for everybody, and then make a plan and a timeline to get these things done, because it's only July. You've got the whole second half of the year to change your momentum and focus and get things done. So, and Summit's right here. It's a perfect time to change the momentum. So, yeah, I love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait to see you at Summit.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.